I don't know, it tastes good and I like it. It's something espresso shit. Anyway, the only reason I go to this Starbucks is because it's a Navy wife who owns it. So I'm like, okay, you actually kept your promise, Starbucks, and are supporting veteran-owned franchises. So good for you. Anyway, off my rant. Good morning, everyone. So by now, everyone's probably read about the active shooter in New York City. I know quite a few videos have been done about it. CNN completely dropped the ball on the description of the individual, and actually they did nothing right. ABC got it right, CBS, Fox, it was CNN. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they were not happy campers. In any case, it brings up a good topic, and it's ironic because I literally had to take the online course for this. Hey Neil, what's going on? Which was the active shooter training. And I had the benefit of one of my fellow guardsmen actually invited me on the corporate side, because we were, from the businesses. Yes, absolutely, Neil. Be the best you can be today. And if not, be a nice version of you. Hey, Tony, good morning. So when we took this course, this was about 8 years ago. So it was a while ago. They actually had one of the FBI agents from good morning, Loretta, from Houston, as well as a guy from Houston PD, if I recall, had been on their SWAT team, or SRT, depending on, I can't remember which team he was on. One of these tactically trained, like, save people types. And they went through a drill for active shooter. We also got to do that on Ellington Joint Reserve Base. I actually got to play a dead guy. Like, they painted me up like I had an injury. They gave me a casualty card, and I just laid out on the floor like I was dead. And then the EMTs took me away in an ambulance, which was kind of comical. Because once we got in the ambulance, we were all joking in the ambulance. We're like, oh, I'm dead, whatever. But those little experiences and that training was very insightful. And in particular, the seminar by the FBI agent. And that was a suit and tie. It wasn't a guard event. It was outside the guard. It was more a corporate thing. And he covered certain points that I think people need to be cognizant of. If you look online, and I can't remember where to find it, there's a video, I believe it's called Run, Hide, and Fight, or something like that. And those are the 3 courses of action you need to be willing to take, or should take, during an active shooter or terrorist incident. Now, obviously, if they pop off a nuke, hey, Teresa, and anyone I missed in the chat, if you pop off a nuke, you're kind of screwed, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about active shooter, active stabbing, the guy in Walmart who stabbed however many people with a damn buck knife. He bought a folding knife of some type and just went and stabbed 11 people. Basically, whoever couldn't get out of his way, he stabbed them. So a few things that I learned in these seminars and in this training, and I'm just going to share it with you. It's not a super secret. The steps everyone says to take is run, hide, and fight, in that order. So 1 is run, right? You're with your kids, you're with your husband, wife, whatever. The best bet is to flee the area and get the hell out. And oh damn, it was near you, farmer. That's not good. The best bet is to flee the area. Now, there are a couple of reasons. 1, you don't get shot or stabbed if you're not there. 2, when the cops show up, you're not there. Because remember, the cops are coming in, more than likely have no idea who the good guys and bad guys are, and they're going to be very uptight when they get there. And if you are still there and you make the wrong move, you pick up stand up with a phone in your hand, they think it's a gun, you could get shot. The cops don't mean to shoot you, but you spook them because you popped out like a jack-in-the-box. You don't want to be the jack-in-the-box during an active shooter event. The SWAT team is not going to react very, very well to you. Get the hell out of there, right? Even if you conceal carry, you will win 100%, or let's put it this way, you will survive 100% of the gunfights you don't get into. Remember that. You will survive 100% of the fights you don't get into. That includes a gunfight. Don't be there. Your sidearm, your concealed carry, whatever it is, should be your last resort. That should, hey, Miko Wolf, that should be your, well, shit. I don't have other options. I'm going to have to go fight. So anyway, run, get out of the area, clear the area. You don't want to get caught in a crossfire. You don't want to get pepper sprayed, whatever the case is. 2 is hide. If you can't flee, hide. And hide also includes barricading yourself. Use the heaviest, largest object you can. So if you're, say, in an office building, put your desk, if you can physically move it, in front of your door. If you can't move the desk, it's too heavy or it's bolted down or something, turn off the lights, try to secure the door somehow, and hide under the desk so it looks like the office is empty. Most of these active shooters know, and this is according to the cop and the FBI guy, they know they're on a timeline. The minute they pull the trigger, they know it's only a matter of time before the response comes. Somebody comes to fight with them and probably kill them. So you want to buy time if you can't flee the area. Hey, Pilgrim, good to see you this morning. You want to get out of the area and not be part of the area of the situation. But if you can't, you want to be able to hide. And remember, there is a difference between cover and concealment, right? I can conceal myself hiding behind a curtain that is not cover. Being behind a brick wall would be better cover than a curtain. So understand the difference, but remember, either is better than being out in the open. But understand the curtain's not going to protect you from a bullet or a knife. So understand cover concealment. But again, you run or you hide, and hiding includes barricading oneself. The last option is to fight, and that's when you don't have an option. Either you've been cornered, the escape route you chose is not viable, which is why it's important to kind of know the escape routes in a Walmart or an office building, or someone you're with is injured and can no longer move, like your kids or your spouse or grandma or grandpa. Somebody is hurt and they can no longer flee. And once they can no longer flee, they're immobile. Now they're a target. And now you have to make that choice. Do you abandon or you stand and fight? And if you fight, fight with commitment. Fight to remove the threat or to get rid of the threat, whatever the case may be, because I promise you the person will go there to kill you. Some other things we learned about the psychology of the shooter from this FBI analyst was, one, most of them are either have had a complete psychotic break or suicidal or both. So they're not expecting to live, which is why you always hear that they either were deleted by the police or they deleted themselves, and you rarely hear of them getting captured. When they do get captured, it's kind of a rare event. So keep in mind, like a lot of people say, oh, well, you can talk to them, you reason with them, you obey them. They don't care. They're there to hurt you. Now, terrorists may have other objectives, like to have a hostage so they can go on the news, whatever the case may be. Active shooters or someone on like a major jihad, they don't care. The guys at Charlie Hebdo in France who were jihadis, they had no belief that they were going to be alive at the end of that event. And so if they're not expecting to be alive, they don't care if you're alive. So again, they're going to be suicidal, and they're probably having a psychotic break, or they're just an evil son of a bitch. Either way, reasoning with them is not an option. So you either run, you hide, or you fight. Now, can't buy air right now. So keep in mind, these folks, when you deal with them, they're on a mission. They're typically suicidal or have lost their fear of death. Maybe not actively suicidal like they want to die, but they don't care if they do. And so that changes the dynamic, because they are not going to act the way a rational person would, given the circumstances. They're not going to take actions to preserve their own safety or wellness. Yeah, no, absolutely. You absolutely have to commit to the fight. Whatever it is you do, use a chair, a fire extinguisher, hit the guy with whatever the hell. If you got to take a shoe off and beat him down with a boot, so be it. If you can barricade yourself, it's even better. Now, the guys did say that, like in the school shootings or in the office shootings, when the shooter breaks into the building and they begin their attack, doors that are locked or barricaded, even if they know someone is in there, they're not going to spend 10 minutes trying to get into that room. They're going to go to an easier target. They're usually totally about body count or making a statement. They don't care to spend 10 minutes unless they're specifically after one person in that part of the building. They're just going to go after the easy targets. So at the very least, when you hide, if you barricade at the same time, hey local, you make yourself a much harder target. They're not going to be interested. Think of the mentality of people who break into cars. People are not going to randomly break into cars not knowing if there's something good in there or not. What they're going to do is they're going to try and break into a vehicle where they can look in and see something easy to grab, like your computer bag or whatever the case may be. They're not going to sit there and randomly break into a vehicle that they then have to battle with for 10 minutes to try and get what may or may not be valuable out of the vehicle. So again, make yourself a hard target, and remember the run, hide, flight scenario. A lot of the people survived the situation because they were able to they were actually able to quickly barricade themselves into the building and get out of the way of the individual as far as the office. Although he did catch whoever was in the hallway, he caught them immediately and they were out in the open. So they were kind of screwed, unfortunately. The Walmart situation, there were interviews already done with people who were in the building at the time, and every one of them said, I ran away, but he got the lady who had fallen down, or I ran away, but he stabbed the person in a wheelchair, or I ran away, but this other this other man got tangled up in a display and he got attacked. So keep in mind, mobility is going to be an important factor. It's going to be a key factor in being able to survive those incidents. But again, remember the run, hide, and fight. This is why when you go shopping to Walmart or the mall, know where the emergency exits are, know where the fire exits are, know where the hallways lead. If worst case you run into any random store, you can actually go through the store and go out the back door of the store, you know, where the employees come in, and now you're in a different hallway. Now, granted, you could get trapped there, but more than likely in a mall, an active shooter is going to be looking for the easy targets that are out in the open. So don't be the easy target. And remember, typically these shooters, at least according to this guy who's teaching this course, they're usually suicidal, and or they've lost their fear of death altogether. And hey, what's going on? And they're not going to act the way a rational person would. I mean, the fact that they're killing random people is not rational, but they're not going to act in a way to preserve themselves, and they're not likely to listen to begging, pleading, or reasoning. Assume they're there with a mission, and that you are simply part of the mission. So again, just a reminder. Now, if you can find that video, Run, Hide, Fight, I swear I saw it on YouTube. I'll try to find that link and put it in my comments or on my my community page. But if not, go do a search. It's out there, and it's a good basic video. It's not going to be earth-shattering. Oh my goodness, whatever. It'll just be more along the lines of, hey, this is reality. These are things you can do, and just moving on from there. Pay attention to your locations. Be mindful of where you're going. Understand your entrance and egress from wherever it is you've gone. Know where your exits are, and remember, run, hide, fight. It's very simple, a little simplistic. Don't get in. Hey Jim, Don't get into a firefight. Like I said, you will survive 100% of the gunfights you can avoid. And you don't want to be there when law enforcement shows up, because they're going to come in very uptight, and very often they're not sure who the good guys or bad guys are. And you don't want to be the jack in the box that pops up out of the target display and has a phone in his hand, and the cops look at you and think you have a gun, and then you get shot, right? You just don't want to be in the equation. So the best thing to do, get the hell out. But it's not always an option. No, Nene, and Nene, it's weird. There's, I don't know if it's me or you guys. Put one in the chat if you're noticing more erratic, violent behavior, like irrational shit. Because I remember not 7 years ago, yeah, there was active shooters, but it was usually, you know, this one guy had a beef with this office, or there was like some kind of motive. The guy who stabbed Walmart people, he just walked in there for no reason and stabbed people he'd never seen before. Even on the streets here, we had a homeless guy, and I don't know if he's homeless or he's nuts or both, but there were women, office women walking by, and he was making obscene gestures to him, and some of the guys told him to screw off and go away. And I see more TV things to change our feeling on current events. Yeah, that's about right, Neil. I agree with that. And then he went to the playground. There were a bunch of little girls on the playground, and he got on the monkey bars and was doing tongue gestures to the mothers. And so I saw him from my office. I went back downstairs, and I called the law, and I pointed him out, and the cops ran his ass off. And of course, I saw him back like 2 weeks later. He's walking around the street here. So I don't know, not in my hood. We're in Chicagoland area. Has its, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it is more crazy stuff. So just be mindful. People are not acting right for whatever reason. You can blame the, what is a angry prepper call it, the arm ticket or the arm candy? I can't remember, arm ticket. Or you can blame 5G. You can blame what garbage is being put in our food. You can blame media, whatever it is. Hey, Cobra. But the bottom line is there are people acting horribly. And keep in mind, all these 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds that are acting violently were 14, 15, 16 when the Rona shut everyone down. So these kids did not have a normal teenage upbringing where we had the normal drama and the schoolyard fights and the playing of sports and going to the games. They didn't have that. They wound up sequestered on social media, being manipulated by God knows who. So just be alert out there, be careful, know your entrances, know the exits. And hey, JD, and be safe, be careful. And remember, run, hide, fight. Avoid a situation if you can. You will survive every engagement that you don't get stuck involved in. If you can walk away, you're going to be fine. Or if you can run away, as the case may be. Anyway, you guys be good, be safe. Thanks for joining me this morning. I will see you guys on the Four Horsemen tonight. I believe on Hudson Valley's channel. So go over there this evening, and I have no idea what we're talking about tonight. You guys be good, be safe.